Just sat that in place, so I'm just waiting for a tank strap rubber. It didn't. They don't originally have it. I just like those things. I've got it on the Norton tank. I'm getting one specifically that size, 31 mil. So when I said nothing fits on these old cars, I wasn't kidding. Like that sits there, right?
Look how short it is. It's nowhere near reaching the tank. So over the 40-something years of fuel vapour locked up there, that thing shrank a lot. I wish I knew that. I could have easily extended that. Now I've got to rig up something to make that up. Like, that's an important joint. That's where your fuel comes in. So I've got to try and rig something up that's going to be fuel tight and look neat. I may still extend that, but I don't want to. I've already done all the welding I want on that. You know, grinding and shit's going to go down into it.
Anyway, just having a bit of a moan. Nothing fits, like I said. That wasn't a joke.
It's just started raining here. Basically, I'm going to have to extend that thing comes off the fuel tank. There's other options, but the way fuel flows, like it runs down there into there, then it runs down into there. But if I put an extension in there, there'll be a little lip there. And the way the fuel will flow, it'll more likely leak. So basically I've got to extend that. It's a pain in the neck. And this other breather pipe has to be cut, and I have to put an extension piece in there. That won't matter because that's just air. Fuel doesn't have to flow there. So I've got to pull the tank back out. It's just sitting there. I've wired it, but I'm going to have to find some pipe that size, add about, I don't know, I'll measure it. Looks like I've got to add about 30 mil to it, maybe 40. Just what I need.
Couldn't be bothered going to the exhaust pipe shop and raiding this scrap bin. I'm just going to make a bit of pipe. I'm going to cut that out, I'm going to bend it around and weld it on there. That's 35 mil, that's 40. I'm just deciding which to go. I suppose I'll go the 40. I'll be able to jam it on. Alright, there's my patch. Squeeze that in a position and weld it. There's that thing, it's longer. I don't want to grind too much off, it'll probably leak. I'm just going to put a bit of bog around there and smooth it off. Right, there's the pipe, it's 40 mil longer. Now it'll fit. I'll repaint the whole tank. I'll do it tomorrow. Man, so annoying. It's all most of the day. It's a little bit wet today. I'm not sure if I'll get this painted. We'll see. I'm going to repaint the whole tank. Give it another paint job, whatever. I'm going to have to make another gasket for here. This other hose is short as well, so I'm going to make an extension for that. It won't look so bad. Right, I've just got to find where my other gasket went. That done, all repainted, thing's extended 40 mil. The thing will reach now. Now I've got to go and extend that breather pipe. Please see, I did think of just changing this, but it's got a real tight bend here, real tight. And that works, so I'm just going to cut it there, make a little tube that extends it, and that's it. Yeah. What else can I do? The thing has shrunk. It's shrunk a lot. So I need to do something. Going to use that stuff there. A little bit of that, about that long. That's all I need. I'll just trim it down, make it look neat, put a hole in it. That'll do it. Extension piece. That's just a breather. That doesn't even need a clamp. In the future, if we get one that's the right length, or we can get one with this hard turn, we'll get it. But for now, that's what's going on. Something I don't have to think about. Fuel tank's all in, wired. You can see where I've had to join and cut and join that. That thing there, as you know, has been extended 40 mil. Now it comes up to here. So I can put that on, it's not going to leak in any way. Once that's bolted down with the cap, that sits up. It sits up like that. So it's not quite in position. The thing there holds it in position. I'm pretty happy with that. That turned out pretty smick. Pretty smick indeed. That looks really nice. The spare goes in here. The jack, we need to get a jack. There's a little cover for them carpet we're getting made for here. That's all it's there. There's a little bit of wiring that needs to be cleaned up. I don't think we need these 2 wires, but we'll see. Overall, that was a pretty big job getting that done, but obviously it looks good. There's a cover that goes here. We have that. I've got to paint it. I'm not sure if I'm going to paint it red or black or what yet. We'll decide. So that's that. And overall, looking nice. I'll give the whole car another final buff when it's all together. I've got to put the stainless on. I've got to figure out a way of doing it without really scratching this and causing rust in the future. There's little bits of dust and shit on this car. I'm not going to wipe it. I'm just going to leave it. But we got a new shipment coming in from Ortman's. All new rubbers for the whole car. And it's all new soft brake lines. There's all the bits we need for the brakes, the master cylinders, clutch. There's a lot of parts coming. I can't even think of them off the top of my head, but we got everything. And that will be here pretty soon. I'll be able to put the doors on, new door rubbers. But I'm not sure if I will put the doors on until the car's back on the chassis. So I've got to get in and paint all the front suspension parts. Sandblast and paint. The rear's ready to assemble, the gearbox ready to go in, clutch. I've got to get the motor going. I've got a couple of concerns with that engine. I didn't end up using the tank strap rubber, because it just made it set up that bit high. I couldn't get the bolt on. I couldn't get it on. So it doesn't come with that. That's how it is. So it's going back like that. What I'm doing here today is, see that black kick panel? There's one there, there's one here. We have that, it's fine. It may need a paint job. I might even cover it in vinyl actually. But the back one is busted, right? It's busted there. This one here's the same. But there's a bit missing there, right? We don't have that. So I'm going to make that panel go all the way to there. I'm going to make new panel. Same on this side. Now we also have these parts, right? These go on the front and they cover that up and it looks pretty good. So they'll go like that. But we don't have what goes there. So there's a bit of this trim that goes up here. We don't have it for both sides, but we will get it. One day we'll get it. I don't know when or where. But for now, I'm going to make these panels. This is what's on the magic table today. This little part here goes behind the seat. It's got a crack here. A little crack, same spot on the other side. Looks like there's a bit of trim goes on the top. I'm not sure if we have that. Anyway, I'll look into that. Possibly make something for now. Look at that, and these things here go hold the trim down the side of the front of the door. You know, I'm sure there's a back section that comes up, but we don't have that either. I've already straightened those, but they need to probably have a couple of hours sanding and polishing or whatever. Not really polishing it, but they've got to be all sanded, scratches and cleaned. First thing I'm doing is getting this stuff here off. I've already done this side. I've got it just over there. I'll keep that and put it back on. So there's a piece missing here, but I've got some new proper stuff coming. I forget what they call it. It's stuff that goes under floor stuff. I forget the name of it, but yeah, anyway. I'll get this off and I'm going to have to look at doing a few bits of plastic welding. This is going to get painted, I'll decide. It used to be red, so we'll see. It might go back red. That bit of trim sits there. It sits sort of up a little bit. There's a couple of holes there. They must be for something. There's 2 little holes there. But they've cut a hole in it there. And there's one on the other side. They got to go. That hole can't stay. Ugly as. Now there must be a bit of trim across here. We can easily make a piece of trim for that. That's nothing. I don't remember seeing anything that goes there, but we'll carpet that. We'll get some carpet made for there. Anyway, I've got to pull this back out, and you've got to bend that to get it in. That's probably why it's cracked. Someone's cracked it on both sides. So I've got to repair those cracks, fix these holes, paint it, put it in. Well, there's the other side. That's fixed. But it's not finished, but I'm going to go over it now with I'm going to change the tip of that soldering iron and just go straight down the crack like that and just push it in so it looks neater. I won't even worry about doing the other side. You don't need to. Right, just when I was doing this, I remembered my son brought me this kit thing for Father's Day. I just put one in there, it works great. I'll put one, I might as well put another one here. So you just push that there. You don't have to film and do it, but I should be able to pull it off. You just pull the trigger, gets hot, push it in. When you're about there where you want it, you let it off, pull it out. It's done. I'll smooth those over too. So I'll put a couple on each. I'll put 4 in each crack. And we'll see. Okay, that's a great tool. Thanks for that, Pete. I'll put 4 of these little things here that'll help hold it as well. But it was already welded, but that'll never come undone. I've done both sides. What I'll do now is cut them off and smooth it down like I was going to anyway. That's fixed. This part here, it's not actually busted, but I'm going to heat it up, put it down, and I'll put one of the clips there as well. Just there, sorry. And that's done. 100% strong. Both of them. I'm not going to worry about doing this side. You can't even see where it was cracked. Pretty much. Once that's painted and put on the car, that'll be fine. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to fix those little squares. Someone's cut out of there. I'm going to take some plastic out of here and put it in there. Normally I'd fiberglass that, but I'll use this gun again and do the other trick with the soldering iron. I also have a plastic welding gun with the rods and everything, but I never use it. Don't need it. No, you use it sometimes. That's done. I'll just give that a light sand because I didn't quite line that up properly. This side's fine. So I'm just going to wipe a little bit of 2-pack in that, and that's done. I'm going to wet rub this whole thing and prime it. Tomorrow I'll paint it. This is ready to paint. I've just put some fake texture on that. Once that's dry, I'll prime it. You'll never see it. You'll never even be able to tell. It's a bit hard to pick it up on this camera, but that's done. So probably paint that black, but I'll just check with Matt, and that doesn't go on until the body's on the chassis anyway, because there's bolts under there you've got to get at. So that won't be going on until, I don't know, a couple of months, whenever. Now this part's here, they're all bent. I've fixed them. I've just got to spend a couple of hours sanding them. They're done. The piece of trim that goes here, I'm sure we've got it. I'm going to go and see where it is and have a look at it. So I'm keeping this car all covered now. I've just got a little light bit of plastic over it and some nice soft sheets. That's how I'm just keeping it for now. I found that bit. We're not using that. That's buggered. So I've got to get some masonite, 3mm masonite, and make a few bits. That'll be one of them. And I'll just cover it in something new. I'm not sure whether we'll use... I think that's probably the original piece and material, but we're not using that. It's had it. I'll get something, and I think that section will be black. We'll probably do the floor where it goes up the back black, the sides and the seats will be red, unless we do the sides red too. But the door cards are going to be red, so I think the sides will be red. The way I did this texture thing is I just used a bit of rock coat and just dabbed it on with my finger. Like, that'll look pretty good when it's done, when it's all dried. I'll prime that and paint this black, but that's not going on for a while, until the body's on the chassis. Just going over the videos, and I thought I had it set up on a tripod and everything. I was videoing when I was plastic welding these cracks. I just used a soldering iron. It's a good trick, but must have forgot to push the button because none of it's there. Anyway, what I'm doing here today is I'm making a pattern for these side pieces. They're all cracked, they're crap. And I'm going to put this extra extension piece. So I'm going to make it all in one piece. I'm going to make a cardboard template. There's the first template. I've actually made it longer than the original. The original's halfway through that tape. I don't see why it can't come out further. Once we get that that last cover piece, that'll finish it off. So that's got to get replicated in masonite, and I think I'll cover them in vinyl or something. I'm going to see if that fits this side. I'm hoping it will. Right, here's my patterns I want for the carpet. Took me all day to get these done right. That's the driver's side one, right hand. That's the passenger side one. Like, you've got to give them exact, because the guy that makes this stuff, he makes them to the pattern. If you come back and say, oh, they don't fit, it's my fault. That's why I've spent all day making this stuff, so I know they're right. And these little pieces go on the front of the firewall. That's the left side, that's the right. So that's the carpet. I still haven't done the boot. I've run out of time. I just remember I've got to do the boot. Anyway, I've got the old part for the boot. I'll just get him to use that as a pattern. Anyway, that's that. I've made this piece here. I've made it wider here, and I've made it longer here and that fits both sides. So I'm going to make that out of wood and vinyl it with a light bit of padding. Anyway, that's that. You see that, but that's painted. This part's done, ready to put on. I've just put down I just painted it out there, but bringing it in here because the stuff falls out of the trees on it. It's right there. It can just sit there now. Right now, I'm making a new fuel line. This stuff turned up. I got that from China. I just know it's got a little kink in it, so that bit's no good. I got 5 metres of it for $47 delivered. It came pretty quick. 10 days it's sitting there. So what I'm going to do is sweat this fitting off, put that on there, and then I'm going to put a bubble. I'm going to strain it out, and I'm going to put a bubble on the other end. Right, there's a new fuel line made. I've just used the old fitting now, just soldered it on. That's plenty strong enough. That's off the old one. I cleaned it up. Just put a bubble flare on the end. It has a bit of hose goes over with a clamp. So that's done. Now I'm going to put it on the chassis. I'm just going to pick out 8 of these things and clean them up. New fuel line installed. Probably got to bend that a little bit, but that's roughly where the bottom of the fuel tank is. So if you've got to move it forward or back a little bit, so be it. But it's all put on. Pretty happy with it. A little flare on the end. When you're making these bubble flares for a fuel line, don't squash it all the way. You don't have to. It's just something for the clamp to hit onto. Because the actual pump sits here somewhere, the fuel pump. So it sits here and then there's a bit of rubber pipe. It may have to go forward or back a little bit, but it's pretty close. I'm sure that's pretty close to where it's got to go. Another thing I'm going to do, I think I might be able to change them. I may change these door cards. I just realised they're stapled on here. So I can save that top piece. That's what I may do, but I'm going to pull these clips off. I'm just going to start stripping these down. These things here, there's an inner and an outer. That's a weather strip inside, and there's an outside. This one here's had it. And there's one on the door outside that's had it, and the other, they both pretty had it really, but I've got to do something and make these look better. Yeah, I'm really trying to find new stuff. It's not hard, not easy to come by. What I was planning on doing is soaking these in water and flattening them out. But it looks like I can pull that off and replace and put new boards there. Today I'm going to make these panels. I've got the wood that goes up here on both sides. There's one for the boot I'm going to make. Now, this trim piece here goes along the front there. I thought there was a bit that goes up here, but it doesn't look like there is. So Honda didn't bother giving you that. They just made it go and it stops here. A bit rough, but that's just how they used to do stuff back in the old days. Anyway, I've glued that on there. This is all painted. It came out really good actually. I'm just letting that dry. I'll put that away. I'll just put it in the back of my ute, so it's out of the way. I've just got a bit of string marked out 33 centimetres, and it's 660 mil right across, so I'll get rid of that. Don't need that now. I'm just going to cut it out with a little jigsaw, and that'll be the panel for in the boot. There's that made. That's out of the thicker stuff. The side panels I'm doing out of 3 mil. This stuff's 5, I think it is. But that fits great. Put the spare in there. That's a new mat. Boot's just about done. inside here. Right, here's the next bit I've got to cut out. Because I want to make this in one piece, it's making it a little bit annoying because it doesn't quite fit. It's just that last little piece. I'll probably still do it and just glue a bit in there later. I've got to make 2 of them. There's that piece there. This other bit here on the floor, that covers all that nice. I'm going to make this new section here. That lines up with that front bit good. They're going to get covered in red. All this side business. It'll match the seats and the door trims will be red. And all this section here, the whole floor in this back will be black. I've just got to make another one of them now. And that sort of stuff's done. I've still got to make that. I don't have the timber for that. I've got to get it a bit wider. There's one door trim stripped. That I've marked that with right hand. So we'll remake those. It's got this stuff around the edge and then it's got that on it. And then that. So we'll just remake them. Pretty time consuming doing all that. These are ready to be remade, these boards. I've just got to get more masonite for that and that. Then put this stuff back on and then just make up the trim. We might put a bit of a design on it. They're pretty plain, these Hondas, so we'll see. Either way, they're getting redone in red. These side panels are all done. I'm just letting them dry because where it wasn't quite long enough, I've just put a little extension there. I've got some cardboard under there, they'll stay there. That, just trim them off. This one was a little bit damaged, same thing. Just glued it and just leave that little bit of cardboard there. It just sort of works like a reinforcement thing. All the templates for the floor, the carpets. The little short ones I made yesterday. This has been made into the shape we need. I'm not sure if that's going to be carpet or mat. You know, we'll see what Matt wants to do, but we might change that to rubber or whatever, rather than have carpet in the boot. We'll see. What we're doing tomorrow is putting that Dynamat stuff all on the floor. Or it's not actually Dynamat, it's like that, but it's Chinese. Chinamat, I suppose you call it. Yeah, that's all getting put on the floor tomorrow. Alright, today I'm going to be installing the Chinamat. That's what I'm going to call it. I'll probably do this side first. I've still got the pattern, the paper pattern for when I made these things here. All these bits here, they're all ready to go. So I've still got the paper patterns when I made the carpet patterns, so I'll just pretty much use that. And there you go, got all the Chinamat in. Pretty happy with that, it looks quite good. I've repainted up around here, these things here, because I realise you can see those. A bit down there, but these new things I've made, they're all done. All this stuff's ready to go. These side things are getting covered in the same stuff as the seats. I'm thinking of doing this mat in rubber, the boot mat. I'll pick out something. Templates for all the carpet are ready. We're going to get this moulded carpet. You can actually mould it, but I'm going to get a guy to overlock the edges. He's done a lot of stuff for me before. He's quite reasonable, his price too. So that'll look nice. I'm pretty happy with this car. I realise this thing here goes there. It's a little like thing that just holds that. Doesn't do anything actually. But anyway, that's all done. Pretty happy with it. It's come up really good. Anyway, another step forward. Put the cover back on and call it a day. I can't really put much of this other stuff on. Well, I can't put this cover on until the body's on the chassis. So then you put that on. Then you put the side covers on. And then you put the carpet in. So basically none of that stuff's going on until the body's on the chassis. Pretty soon I'll be getting in and doing the front suspension, get that done, get the thing rolling. This thing's body's going on. It's ready to go on now that I've got this. Fuel line was the last thing I had to do there. So I really want to get this back in one piece. So it gives me a bit more space in here. Last thing I have to sort out on this trim is remake this piece, get it fit nice out of 3mm. Same with this, that's getting made out of 3mm. Get that all back together, and then all they've got to be done is covered. I can cover all that stuff myself. Anything I'll probably get someone to do is the seats. We don't have a machine, and I've never used one anyway, so I'm just going to let someone else do the seats. Anyway, I'll make a video, I suppose, on that, and it probably doesn't look like I've done much, but that took a fair bit. Anyway, thanks for that.